Have you ever wondered why some women seem to walk into a room and instantly command respect, while others struggle to be taken seriously no matter how much they give? It's not about beauty, money, or status. Respect runs deeper than that. Respect comes from something within, something that cannot be bought, begged for, or borrowed. It's earned, and once it is earned, it never leaves. Here's the truth most people don't talk about. Respect is not a gift, it is a mirror. The way people treat you is often a reflection of what you allow, what you project, and most importantly, what you believe about yourself. If you've ever felt ignored, underestimated, or undervalued, it's not because you don't deserve respect, it's because you haven't unlocked the rules that naturally command it. Men, just like anyone else, are wired to respond to strength, to authenticity, to boundaries, and to growth. Psychology shows us that human beings admire what they cannot easily manipulate. Think about that for a moment. The things you fight hardest to earn, your career, your education, your peace of mind, are the things you end up respecting the most. Respect works the same way in relationships. If it comes too easily, it loses its value. But when it is built on unshakable principles, it becomes permanent. That's exactly what this video is about. By the end, you will know the 4 unbreakable rules that make men deeply respect a woman, not for a moment, not out of fear, not out of convenience, but out of genuine admiration. And here's the reward for staying until the end. Once you master these 4 rules, you won't just gain respect from men. You'll gain respect from everyone around you, friends, family, co-workers, even strangers. Most importantly, you'll begin to respect yourself at a level you may have never experienced before. And when that happens, everything in your life shifts. So, why should you care about respect? Because without respect, love is shallow, attention is temporary, and connections fade. Respect is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. Without it, even the most passionate attraction eventually dies. But with it, trust is built, admiration grows, and bonds last. Let's take a moment to dig into human psychology. People are drawn to strength, not weakness. They follow leaders, not beggars. When someone stands firm in who they are, others feel it. It creates a sense of gravity. That's why when a woman learns how to carry herself with dignity, confidence, and clarity, men instinctively respect her. They may not even be able to explain why, but they feel it deep inside. Now, here's something powerful you need to hear. Respect is not about being louder, tougher, or colder. True respect has nothing to do with arrogance or pride. It's about quiet strength. It's about showing, through your actions and choices, that you know your worth and will not settle for less. Men can sense that. People can sense that. And the ones who are meant to be in your life will rise to meet you there. But let's be honest, many women fall into a dangerous trap. They confuse pleasing with respecting. They think that if they give more, sacrifice more, tolerate more, they'll earn respect. But psychology proves the opposite. When you bend too much, people stop valuing you. When you say yes to everything, your no loses power. When you let disrespect slide, you silently teach others that it's acceptable. The truth is simple. People do not respect what they can easily take for granted. This is why these 4 rules are life-changing. They aren't about controlling anyone else. They're about controlling yourself, your standards, your reactions, your boundaries, your growth. And when you take control of these things, respect doesn't need to be chased. It comes to you naturally and powerfully. So let me ask you again, do you want to be liked or do you want to be respected? There's a big difference. Being liked is temporary. It depends on moods, opinions, and circumstances. But being respected, that's permanent. Respect stays even when people disagree with you. Respect remains even when emotions fade. Respect is what makes someone think twice before hurting you, and what makes them admire you even when you're not in the room. Imagine walking through life knowing you no longer have to beg for attention or settle for crumbs of affection. Imagine relationships where respect is the foundation, where your presence commands value, and where you no longer doubt your worth. That is the transformation these 4 rules bring. And here's the promise. If you listen closely and stay with me until the very end, you will walk away with more than just 4 rules. You will walk away with a new mindset, a new energy, and a new level of power in your life. Because the real secret isn't about making men respect you. It's about becoming the kind of woman who respects herself so deeply that the world has no choice but to do the same. So stay with me, pay attention, The next few minutes could reshape the way you see yourself and the way others see you forever. Respect isn't given, it's earned. And by the time this is over, you will know exactly how to earn it and keep it. Respect begins in the mirror. Before anyone else can honor you, you must honor yourself. Every person you meet takes silent cues from how you treat your own mind, your own body, and your own life. If you see yourself as valuable, they sense it. If you see yourself as unworthy, they sense that too. Psychology teaches us that human beings mirror emotions, behaviors, and energy. When you radiate confidence in your own worth, others respond with acknowledgement. Think about this. When you carry yourself with dignity, you do not have to demand recognition. Your presence speaks for you. People are drawn to certainty, and certainty comes from knowing your value. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is the quiet understanding that you are enough as you are, and you deserve to be treated with care. The reason self-respect is so powerful is because it sets the stage for every interaction. If you lower your standards, others will meet you at that level. But when you protect your peace, your time, and your heart, you send out a clear message: I am not easily broken. That message is powerful because the human mind respects strength. It respects people who refuse to shrink themselves for acceptance. This is why self-respect must come before love, before friendship, before commitment. Without it, you hand over control of your identity to someone else. And when you give that power away, you make space for manipulation, neglect, or disrespect. But when you stand firmly in your own worth, you cannot be easily swayed. You no longer need approval to feel whole. You no longer chase attention just to feel visible. You walk through life knowing your presence is already enough. There is a simple truth: how you treat yourself sets the price tag for how others treat you. If you invest in your growth, people see you as valuable. If you ignore your needs, they assume it's acceptable to ignore them too. If you speak kindly to yourself, you teach others to speak kindly as well. Respect is not built in one day. It is built through every choice, every boundary, every small moment where you decide, I am worth more than this. And here's the beauty of it. Once you practice self-respect consistently, it changes the way you carry yourself. Your posture changes, your tone changes, your silence changes. You stop explaining yourself to those who do not care. You stop fighting for people who will not fight for you. You stop staying where your soul feels unseen. These shifts are not loud, but they are powerful. They create an aura around you that others can feel even without words. Consider this: people naturally treat fragile things with caution, but they treasure strong things with admiration. A fragile vase might be placed on a shelf, but a strong diamond is placed in a crown. Self-respect is that diamond. It shines without asking. It draws attention without begging. And most importantly, it is unbreakable. The mind has a deep need for consistency. If you respect yourself sometimes but compromise other times, you create confusion. But when you are steady in your self-respect, others begin to trust that steadiness. Men especially respect consistency because it shows emotional maturity and inner discipline. When you live by your own values without bending, you demonstrate that you cannot be shaken by shallow words or temporary promises. That is magnetic. That is rare. And rare things are always respected. Here's something you must remember. Self-respect does not mean isolation. It does not mean closing your heart or pushing people away. It simply means you no longer allow treatment that breaks your spirit. You can still be warm. You can still be kind. But your kindness has edges, and those edges protect your soul. Men admire women who know how to love deeply yet never betray themselves in the process. Psychologists often speak about self-fulfilling prophecy. What you believe about yourself becomes the script others follow. If you believe you are not worthy of respect, you act in ways that confirm it. You settle for less, you accept excuses, and you allow patterns that diminish you. But when you truly believe in your worth, your actions align with that belief. You no longer accept half love, half effort, or half respect. You naturally attract relationships that match your level. Imagine walking into every situation with the mindset that you deserve peace, love, and dignity. Imagine never lowering your worth just to be chosen. That is the strength of self-respect. It removes desperation from your spirit. And without desperation, you move differently. You walk with confidence, you speak with clarity, you live with purpose. Men respect women who hold themselves in this way, not because they demand it, but because it feels natural to give it. The greatest mistake anyone can make is believing that respect must come from outside first. That belief keeps you trapped, waiting for approval that may never arrive. But when you flip the perspective and make self-respect your foundation, the world adjusts. People sense it. They know they cannot play with your emotions because you no longer allow it. They know they cannot waste your time because you value it too much. They know they cannot belittle you because you do not believe in smallness. True power comes from the inside. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be faked, and it cannot be bought. Self-respect is the foundation of that power. And when it becomes a way of life, everything else aligns. Respect from others follows naturally because they see you already carry it within yourself. One of the strongest signals of self-respect is the ability to set clear boundaries. A boundary is not a wall that shuts people out. It is a line that teaches others how to treat you. Without boundaries, relationships lose balance. With boundaries, they gain clarity, trust, and mutual respect. Human nature is simple. People test limits, not always out of malice, but out of curiosity and instinct. From childhood, we push against rules to see how far we can go. As adults, this behavior does not disappear. It only changes form. That is why boundaries matter. They tell the world, this is how far you can go with me. Beyond this point, I will protect myself. Psychology reveals that people respect what is firm and steady. When your boundaries are strong, you show that you value your peace, your time, and your emotions. This is powerful because it communicates that you are not afraid to lose someone in order to keep yourself whole. That kind of strength earns deep respect. Think of boundaries as doors, not cages. A door allows entry, but only with permission. Without that structure, anyone can walk in and disturb your space. When you set boundaries, you decide who has access to your energy. You decide what behaviors are acceptable. You decide what words can be spoken around you. This is not about controlling others. It is about protecting yourself. And when you protect yourself, people see you as someone worth protecting. Many women hesitate to set boundaries because they fear rejection. They worry that saying no will push people away. But the truth is, those who leave because of your boundaries never respected you to begin with. Boundaries do not drive away love. They filter out what is false. They reveal who values you for who you are, not for what they can take from you. A powerful boundary could be as simple as refusing to engage in disrespectful conversations. It could be choosing not to respond immediately to demands that disregard your time. It could be walking away when someone repeatedly crosses lines after being warned. Every act of standing firm reinforces your value. And with each reinforcement, people learn that your respect is not negotiable. Men, in particular, admire women who stand by their boundaries. Why? Because it shows strength. It shows courage. It shows that you cannot be easily persuaded or controlled. This is attractive not only emotionally, but psychologically. The human mind is wired to value what is rare, and rare is the person who refuses to compromise their dignity for temporary approval. Boundaries also create balance in relationships. Without them, one person gives endlessly while the other takes without limit. That imbalance breeds resentment, anger, and distance. But when both people respect each other's limits, connection becomes healthier. There is room for trust, for admiration, and for equality. And equality is where respect thrives. Here's something important to understand. Setting boundaries is not about raising your voice or proving a point. True boundaries are quiet, consistent actions. They are in the way you walk away from chaos. They are in the way you choose silence over arguments that go nowhere. They are in the way you refuse to allow guilt to manipulate your choices. Boundaries are not about force. They are about self-control, and people deeply respect those who are in control of themselves. When you begin practicing this rule, you may notice resistance. Some will be upset because they benefited from your lack of boundaries before. They were comfortable with your silence, your overgiving, your endless tolerance. Do not let their reaction weaken you. Their frustration is proof that your boundaries are working. The ones who truly care will adjust because real connection honors limits. Another truth psychology teaches us is that boundaries increase attraction. Why? Because mystery and challenge stimulate respect. When you do not give unlimited access to your time, attention, or emotions, people value the parts they do receive. Scarcity creates appreciation. And in the same way, self-respect expressed through boundaries creates lasting admiration. Imagine a life where you no longer feel drained by one-sided connections. Imagine relationships where your limits are not only accepted, but respected. Imagine walking with confidence, knowing that you have built a shield around your heart without hardening it. That is the freedom boundaries bring. Boundaries are also essential for inner peace. Without them, you carry constant stress because you are pulled in too many directions. You feel resentment because your needs are ignored. But when you enforce limits, you gain space. Space to think, space to grow, space to nurture yourself. And that inner peace is visible. People can sense it. It creates an energy of strength and stability that others cannot help but respect. The most powerful part about boundaries is that they do not need explanation. You do not have to justify them. You do not have to argue for them. A true boundary is not a debate, it is a decision, and decisions made from self-worth never need approval. When you understand this, you stop wasting energy trying to convince others to accept your limits. You simply live them. Respect begins with the way you carry yourself. When you establish boundaries, you show the world that you value your life enough to protect it. And in return, the world responds with acknowledgement, admiration, and loyalty. Boundaries are not barriers to love. They are the foundation of lasting love. They are not obstacles to connection. They are the path to deeper connection. So never fear drawing your lines. Every time you do, you are teaching others how to love you better. You are teaching them how to honor your presence. And most importantly, you are reminding yourself of your worth. That reminder is the greatest respect of all. Nothing shines brighter than a person who is unapologetically themselves. Authenticity is one of the rarest qualities in the world, and because it is rare, it is priceless. In a society where so many wear masks to be accepted, the courage to stand in your truth becomes magnetic. It pulls people in. It creates admiration. It builds unshakable respect. The human mind is wired to sense what is real. Psychology shows that people are drawn to honesty and repelled by pretense. You may not always know why, but you can feel when someone is being genuine. Their words align with their actions. Their energy feels consistent. That harmony creates trust. And trust is the foundation of respect. When a woman chooses to live authentically, she radiates a quiet power. She does not need to play roles to be liked. She does not need to hide her values to be accepted. She does not need to mimic others to feel worthy. Instead, she chooses to stand in her truth, even if that truth is different from what others expect. Men notice this. They notice when a woman is steady in who she is without bending for approval. That steadiness is deeply admired because it takes strength to be real in a world that constantly pressures you to conform. Authenticity is magnetic because it creates certainty. When people know you are genuine, they trust your words, they trust your actions, and they trust your presence. But when you wear a mask, confusion grows. And where there is confusion, respect fades. Respect thrives in clarity, and clarity is born from being true to yourself. It takes courage to be authentic. It means you will not always please everyone. Some will misunderstand you, some will criticize you, some will even walk away. But here's the truth, losing people who do not value your authenticity is not a loss. It is freedom. It clears space for people who truly respect you, not for the mask you wear, but for the person you are underneath. Authenticity also creates deep connection. When you are real, you invite others to be real too. You give them permission to drop their own masks. That exchange builds bonds that are lasting because they are not built on performance but on truth. And truth always commands respect. Men especially are drawn to women who are consistent in their words and actions. It signals integrity, it signals strength, it signals maturity. Many believe that changing themselves will earn love or admiration. They mold their personality, their values, their choices, trying to fit into someone else's idea of perfection. But in doing so, they sacrifice their authenticity. And once authenticity is gone, respect follows. Because respect cannot survive where truth has been abandoned, the most powerful people are not those who try to be everything for everyone. They are those who have the courage to simply be themselves. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, they do not hide them, they embrace them. And in doing so, they project an honesty that cannot be ignored. This honesty is rare, and rare qualities always inspire respect. Think of authenticity as a light. A light does not compete with darkness, it simply shines. It does not change its brightness depending on who is watching. It simply exists as it is. The same is true for authenticity. When you live honestly, you shine naturally. Those who are drawn to that light will come closer. Those who cannot handle it will turn away. Either way, your authenticity remains, and it continues to attract the respect of those who value truth. Psychologists speak about congruence, the harmony between inner values and outward actions. When your inside does not match your outside, people sense the dissonance. But when your values and behavior align, you become whole. That wholeness is powerful because it cannot be shaken by opinions. You know who you are. You know what you stand for. And people respect those who are unwavering in their identity. Men respect authenticity because it signals trustworthiness. If you are honest with yourself, they know you will be honest with them. If you are consistent in your values, they know you will be consistent in your actions. Authenticity eliminates doubt. And in a world full of uncertainty, people deeply admire those who bring certainty through their character. Living authentically also frees you from the exhausting game of pretending. Pretending drains energy. It keeps you walking on eggshells, always worrying about being exposed. Authenticity, on the other hand, creates freedom. It allows you to live without fear, without performance, without constant comparison. That freedom is visible. People can feel it, and they respect the strength it takes to live that way. Imagine walking through life without apology for who you are. Imagine relationships where you do not have to act, where you do not have to suppress your truth, where you are respected for your real self. That is the gift of authenticity. It creates a kind of presence that is unforgettable. Men do not just notice it, they admire it deeply, because while attraction may fade, respect for authenticity only grows stronger with time. Authenticity is not about perfection, it is about alignment. It is about having the courage to be the same person in private and in public. It is about speaking words that match your beliefs and living a life that matches your values. When you do this, people trust you. And where there is trust, there is lasting respect. Never underestimate the power of being real. Masks may win temporary attention, but truth earns permanent admiration. Authenticity is the foundation of dignity. It is the key to influence, and it is one of the most magnetic forces a woman can carry. Strength is not only seen in what you say, but in how you respond when emotions rise. Emotional control is one of the greatest signs of inner power. It shows maturity, discipline, and balance always earns respect. Every person faces moments of anger, disappointment, or hurt. These feelings are natural. What separates the strong from the weak is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to master it. When you stay calm in chaos, you show that your mind, not your impulses, is in control. That steadiness leaves a lasting impression. People may forget what you say, but they never forget how you carried yourself under pressure. Psychology tells us that humans feel safest around those who can regulate their emotions. A calm presence creates trust. It signals stability. When you keep control over yourself, others know they can rely on you even in difficult moments. Men, in particular, respect women who show this level of composure. It communicates strength without words. It shows that you cannot be easily shaken no matter the storm. Losing control, on the other hand, often destroys respect. Outbursts, shouting, and emotional explosions may release tension in the moment, but they also weaken how others perceive you. People may start to walk on eggshells around you. They may see you as unpredictable, and unpredictability breeds doubt, not admiration. But here's the empowering truth. Emotional control does not mean suppressing your feelings. It does not mean hiding your pain or pretending you are unaffected. Real control means you acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your choices. You feel them, but you do not become them. You let them pass instead of letting them rule you. That ability is a sign of deep self-respect. Men respect this quality because it signals intelligence and strength. It shows you can disagree without hostility, you can confront issues without chaos, and you can express passion without losing your balance. That level of discipline is rare, and anything rare is admired. Think of a river. When it floods wildly, it destroys everything in its path. But when it flows within its banks, it becomes a source of life, energy, and strength. Emotions are the same. Uncontrolled, they can destroy respect and trust. Controlled, they become a force that brings clarity, connection, and power. Another reason emotional control is so respected is because it shows independence. When you do not allow others to control your emotions, you show that your peace is in your own hands. You are no longer reactive to every insult, every opinion, every slight. You decide how you feel. You decide how you respond. That kind of control cannot be manipulated, and it earns deep admiration. Many people give their power away because they let others dictate their emotional state. One word can ruin their day. One look can break their confidence. One rejection can destroy their peace. But when you develop emotional control, you take that power back. You no longer allow external circumstances to decide your worth. That shift makes people respect you because they see that you live from within, not from outside influence. Emotional control also protects your dignity. In heated moments, words spoken in anger can never be taken back. Actions fueled by rage often leave regret. But when you pause, breathe, and choose your response, you protect your integrity. You show that you value yourself too much to let temporary emotions destroy long-term respect. Imagine a situation where someone tries to provoke you. Instead of reacting, you remain calm. Instead of arguing, you respond with clarity. Instead of losing yourself, you stay steady. That response is unforgettable. People do not expect strength in silence, but silence used with intention is powerful. It shifts the dynamic. It turns the focus back on those who try to disturb your peace, and men especially admire women who show this kind of mastery over themselves. Emotional control also brings peace of mind. When you are no longer tossed around by every wave of emotion, you live with greater stability. That stability radiates outward. People sense it. They feel grounded in your presence. And because human beings naturally admire those who give them a sense of security, they respond with respect. It is important to remember that emotional control is not about being cold or distant. It is not about shutting down your feelings. True strength lies in balance, the ability to feel deeply but still respond wisely. This balance is rare, and it is what separates powerful individuals from those who are controlled by every emotion. Think of the greatest leaders, the people who inspired nations or transformed history. They all had one thing in common: the ability to remain calm under pressure. That quality created trust, it built respect, and it gave them influence far greater than force ever could. The same principle applies in everyday life. When you master emotional control, you gain influence over how others see you, and respect naturally follows. So let your emotions exist, but do not let them rule you. Feel deeply, but respond wisely. Speak with clarity, not rage. Stand with calmness, not chaos. This level of control will not only earn the respect of men, but the respect of anyone who crosses your path. Real strength is not shown in how loudly you react. It is shown in how gracefully you respond. Emotional control is quiet power, and quiet power is always respected. There is something deeply inspiring about a woman who is committed to her own growth, a woman who chooses progress over comfort, who builds her own path, who invests in her independence, naturally earns admiration. This kind of strength cannot be ignored because it shows courage, it shows vision, and it shows that she is not waiting for anyone else to define her worth. Human psychology reveals that people respect what evolves. Growth signals vitality, discipline, and ambition. When you refuse to stay stagnant, you communicate that you value yourself enough to keep moving forward. Men notice this. They notice when you are passionate about your goals, when you are expanding your knowledge, when you are pursuing dreams that give your life meaning. That pursuit alone commands respect because it shows that your life has direction. Independence adds another layer to this. Independence does not mean rejecting connection or love. It means you are whole on your own. It means you do not rely on others to validate your existence. You share your life, but you do not hand over your identity. That self-sufficiency is magnetic. It tells the world that you are not afraid of standing alone, and people admire that kind of fearlessness. When you focus on growth and independence, you naturally raise your standards. You no longer tolerate relationships that hold you back. You no longer cling to situations that drain you. Instead, you seek environments that nurture your development. This shift changes the kind of energy you attract. Men who respect themselves will respect you even more because they see that you have created a life of value without waiting for someone else to build it for you. A woman who is independent, yet open to love, is powerful. She does not depend on someone for her happiness, but she chooses to share her happiness. She does not seek to be rescued, but she welcomes partnership. This balance makes her unforgettable. It shows strength without arrogance and openness without desperation. Men respect this balance deeply because it is rare and difficult to find. Growth also demonstrates resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and losses. Many give up when the road becomes difficult. But the ones who continue growing, despite the obstacles, show extraordinary strength. Resilience is respected because it reflects endurance. It shows that you are not defined by circumstances, but by your ability to rise after every fall. That perseverance is admired not just by men, but by everyone who witnesses it. Independence also creates freedom in relationships. When both people are whole on their own, they come together by choice, not by need. This creates respect, because neither person is trapped by dependence. Instead, they admire each other's individuality. A woman who is independent shows that she is capable of standing tall on her own, and that makes her presence even more valuable. Men respect those who do not rely on others to survive, but who choose to share their strength. Consider this truth: people are naturally inspired by those who improve themselves. Think of how much admiration is given to someone who overcomes challenges, develops skills, or builds a better life. Growth is inspiring because it represents discipline and vision. When you embody that, you naturally stand out. You become an example of what is possible, and respect follows without effort. It is also important to remember that growth never ends. There is always another step to take, another lesson to learn, another level to reach. Choosing to grow means choosing a life of purpose. It means you refuse to settle for less than your potential. Men respect women who chase their potential because it shows ambition, and ambition is a quality the human mind admires deeply. Independence has a similar effect. When you know how to provide for yourself, make decisions for yourself, and stand strong by yourself, you create stability. That stability is respected because it removes fear. You are not trapped. You are not helpless. You are free. Freedom creates confidence, and confidence always earns respect. Imagine living a life where your identity is rooted in your own progress, where you are not defined by who stands beside you, but by the strength you carry within. Imagine relationships where you are valued not for what you give away, but for the person you continue to become. That is the gift of growth and independence. It does not only inspire admiration, it creates lasting respect. The beauty of this rule is that it transforms both your inner and outer world. Internally, you feel stronger, more capable, and more complete. Externally, people see that strength and respond to it with honor. Men especially admire women who are determined to grow and independent enough to stand tall. It shows that you are not waiting for life to happen, you are making it happen. Growth and independence together create a presence that cannot be ignored. They show that you are living with purpose, with direction, and with courage, and those qualities are not only admired, they are deeply respected. When taken separately, each rule creates strength on its own, but when all four are lived together, they form a powerful foundation that makes respect unavoidable. It is like building a house. One wall can stand, but it is fragile. Add the other walls, the roof, and the foundation, and suddenly you have something solid, something unshakable. These four rules create that unshakable presence. Self-respect is the root. Without it, nothing else can stand. It is the silent force that shapes every choice, every relationship, every boundary. When you carry self-respect, you stop chasing approval. You stop lowering your value. You begin to live from within, and people cannot help but recognize that strength. Boundaries are the structure that protect that root. They are the shield around your dignity. Without them, even the strongest self-respect can be chipped away. With them, you stand firm. You are not easily manipulated. You are not swayed by pressure. Instead, you create space for genuine connection, because respect can only exist where limits are honored. Authenticity brings truth into the structure. Without authenticity, self-respect and boundaries lose meaning because they are not tied to the real you. When you live authentically, everything aligns: your words, your actions, your values. People sense this alignment. It creates trust, and trust is the soil where respect grows deep. Emotional control is the calm center of it all. Life will always test you. People will provoke, challenge, or disappoint you. Without control, everything you have built can be shaken in a single moment. But with control, you remain steady. You prove that your strength is not temporary. It is consistent. Consistency is rare, and that rarity makes others admire you more, and then comes growth and independence. These are the forces that push you forward. They ensure you never stay stuck. They create a future that inspires. They show that you are capable on your own, but still open to connection. This independence makes your respect even stronger because people admire those who do not wait to be saved, but choose to build themselves. Together, these rules are powerful because they balance one another. Self-respect without boundaries can still be broken. Boundaries without authenticity can feel cold. Authenticity without control can create chaos. Growth without self-respect can lead to endless striving without fulfillment. But when they work together, they create balance. Balance is the secret to lasting respect. Human psychology shows that people respond to harmony. When your inner world is aligned, others sense it. They cannot always explain why, but they feel drawn to it. A person who respects themselves, protects their peace, lives authentically, controls their emotions, and continues to grow becomes magnetic. This magnetism is not about physical beauty or charm. It is about energy. Energy built on harmony feels safe, inspiring, and unforgettable. Men especially notice this combination. They respect it because it shows completeness. It shows that you are not defined by others, but you welcome others into your life without losing yourself. This kind of completeness makes relationships stronger because it eliminates games, desperation, and dependency. Instead, it creates equality, and equality builds lasting respect. Another reason these rules are powerful together is that they create unshakable confidence. Confidence is not loud or boastful. True confidence is quiet certainty. It is knowing who you are, what you stand for, and where you are going. When you embody all four rules, that certainty becomes your foundation. And when people see certainty, they respond with respect. Think of someone walking into a room. Many may try to impress with appearance, wealth, or status. But the one who carries self-respect, clear boundaries, authenticity, control, and growth needs none of that. Their presence alone speaks louder than anything else. They do not need to demand respect. They already have it, because respect flows naturally to those who live by principles. The combination of these rules also protects you from being undervalued. People may try to test you, but your boundaries protect you. They may try to confuse you, but your authenticity keeps you clear. They may try to provoke you, but your emotional control keeps you steady. And even when challenges come, your growth and independence ensure that you keep moving forward. This creates resilience, and resilience is one of the most respected qualities of all. Imagine living with this complete alignment. Imagine knowing that no matter who you meet, you will not lose yourself. You will not shrink. You will not compromise your dignity. You stand firm in your own power, and that power is visible to everyone around you. That is the effect of living all four rules together. It is not about perfection. It is not about never feeling weak. It is about creating a foundation so strong that even in moments of weakness, you do not collapse. You rise again because your respect for yourself guides you back. And each time you rise, people notice. They respect the consistency, the strength, the authenticity, and the growth. The truth is, respect is not built in a single moment. It is built through a way of living. Each of these rules represents a piece of that way. Together, they create a life where respect is not asked for, but given freely. They create a presence that cannot be ignored. And once you embody them, you will never again have to wonder whether people see your value. They will see it, they will feel it, and they will respect it. Respect is not an accident. It is not something people give without reason. It is shaped by psychology, by how the human mind responds to strength, clarity, and balance. To understand why certain behaviors inspire admiration, you must first understand what people truly value at a subconscious level. The human brain is wired to seek safety and stability. From the earliest stages of life, people look for signals that someone is trustworthy, dependable, and grounded. When they see these qualities, their mind naturally associates them with security. That is why individuals who stand firmly in their identity, who do not bend under pressure, and who live by principles often attract deep respect. The mind feels safe around them. Another powerful factor is consistency. Psychology shows that the brain craves patterns. It trusts what is steady and doubts what is unpredictable. When someone demonstrates consistency in actions, emotions, and decisions, it creates reliability. Reliability leads to trust, and trust is one of the strongest foundations of respect. A person who keeps promises, honors boundaries, and stays true to their values builds respect without asking for it, because the brain recognizes them as dependable. Respect is also tied to rarity. The human mind pays more attention to what is uncommon. When qualities like discipline, authenticity, and inner strength are rare in the world, they naturally stand out. People admire what they do not often see. That admiration quickly turns into respect because the mind perceives rarity as value. Just as gold is valued for its scarcity, personal qualities that are rare become precious in human relationships. Another psychological truth is that people admire what they cannot easily control. If you are easily swayed, easily manipulated, or quick to lose yourself for approval, the mind interprets that as weakness. Weakness does not inspire respect. But if you are firm in your choices, calm under pressure, and unshaken by outside influence, the brain registers strength. Strength is universally respected because it represents survival, leadership, and resilience. Respect also grows from clarity. The mind struggles to trust what is confusing or inconsistent. But when your actions align with your words, when your choices reflect your principles, clarity is created. That clarity reduces uncertainty, and the human brain values certainty above many other things. People respect those who are clear because clarity is a sign of integrity. Another key factor in psychology is self-sufficiency. From a deep survival perspective, people admire those who can thrive on their own. Dependence signals vulnerability, while independence signals power. When you demonstrate that you can handle life, make choices, and pursue growth without leaning on others for identity, you trigger respect at a subconscious level. It tells others that you are not a burden, you are a source of strength. The psychology of respect is also influenced by emotional energy. Human beings are highly sensitive to the emotional states of others. When you remain calm in chaos, composed under stress, and steady in the face of conflict, it signals control. The brain sees control as authority. Authority commands respect because it shows mastery, and mastery is something people instinctively admire. Admiration also comes from growth. People are naturally inspired by progress. When they see someone who refuses to settle, who continues learning and evolving, it sparks something inside. The brain responds to growth with admiration because progress represents hope. Hope is a powerful motivator, and anyone who carries it earns respect for reminding others of what is possible. An important part of this psychology is the way people mirror what they see. When you respect yourself, others unconsciously adjust their behavior to match. If you devalue yourself, others often follow that lead. But when you set the tone by carrying yourself with dignity, the brain of the observer responds by placing value on you as well. This is why self-respect is often the starting point for receiving respect from others. Powerful respect also comes from resilience. People instinctively admire those who rise after falling. The brain equates resilience with strength and strength with survival. When someone demonstrates that setbacks do not break them, they earn lasting admiration. Others look at that resilience and feel inspired because it shows that even in difficulty, greatness can be maintained. Finally, respect is strongly tied to authenticity. The human mind has a deep ability to detect dishonesty or pretense. Even when not spoken, people can feel when someone is pretending or hiding their truth. Pretending weakens respect because it creates mistrust. Authenticity, on the other hand, builds respect because it feels real. People may not always agree with authenticity, but they will respect it. Truth, even when uncomfortable, is valued more than pretense. When you combine all of these psychological truths, it becomes clear why certain women earn respect so naturally. They embody safety, clarity, strength, and independence. They demonstrate consistency and resilience. They live authentically and continue to grow. Each of these qualities speaks to the human brain at a deep level, and the result is respect that does not fade. Respect, then, is not given by chance. It is earned through alignment with what the mind instinctively honors. When you understand this psychology, you no longer wonder why some people receive admiration without effort. You see that it is not luck, it is not charm, it is the result of living in a way that activates the deepest values in the human mind. And once you live this way, respect follows you everywhere. Not because you demand it, but because it is impossible for others to ignore it. When respect becomes the foundation of a relationship, everything changes. It no longer feels like a struggle, no longer feels like a battlefield where one person tries to dominate the other. Instead, it feels like a partnership built on strength, balance, and understanding. Respect is not simply about admiration, it is about transformation. It shifts the way two people interact, the way they grow together, and the way they face challenges side by side. A relationship without respect is fragile. It may look strong on the surface, but underneath, it is full of cracks. Those cracks appear as misunderstandings, power struggles, and constant conflict. Without respect, even love begins to feel heavy. But when respect is present, it becomes the glue that holds everything together. It creates stability because both people know that their dignity will not be compromised. Respect transforms communication. Instead of words being used as weapons, they become tools for connection. When there is respect, listening is deeper. Arguments do not spiral into destruction because both people value the bond too much to tear each other down. Respect allows honesty to exist without fear because both know that truth will not be used against them. This type of communication builds trust, and trust makes the relationship unbreakable. Another transformation that respect brings is equality. In too many relationships, one person feels smaller, unheard, or invisible. This creates resentment and distance. But with respect, both voices matter. Both perspectives carry weight. Both dreams are seen as valuable. This equality does not erase differences, it honors them. It allows two individuals to remain unique while still walking together. That balance is rare, and it is why respect creates partnerships that last. Respect also protects love itself. Love can be passionate, exciting, and beautiful, but without respect, it can burn out quickly. Respect is what keeps love alive through storms. It prevents neglect, it blocks contempt, and it eliminates the poison of disrespectful behavior. When you respect your partner and they respect you, love does not fade with time, it deepens. It becomes richer, steadier, and more powerful. Another way respect transforms relationships is by reducing fear. Many people hold back parts of themselves because they are afraid of judgment, criticism, or rejection. But when respect is real, fear disappears. You feel free to be yourself. You feel safe to share your thoughts, your feelings, and even your weaknesses. That freedom allows intimacy to grow because intimacy is not just physical, it is the courage to be fully seen. Respect creates the space for that courage. Respect also brings admiration into daily life. Small gestures become meaningful when there is respect. A simple word of encouragement, a thoughtful act, or even silence at the right time feels powerful because respect makes people pay attention. It makes them value not only the big things but the small moments too. This attention keeps the relationship alive because it prevents anyone from feeling overlooked or forgotten. Another transformation comes in the way challenges are handled. Every relationship faces difficulties, misunderstandings, stress, external pressures. Without respect, those challenges can break the bond. But with respect, challenges become opportunities. Instead of attacking each other, both stand together against the problem. Respect turns conflict into teamwork. It creates resilience because the bond is based not only on emotion but on mutual regard and loyalty. Respect also transforms the way growth is viewed. In unhealthy relationships, growth is often seen as a threat. When one person improves, the other feels insecure. But in relationships grounded in respect, growth is celebrated. Each person wants to see the other become their best self. Achievements are not a competition, they are a shared victory. That encouragement creates an upward spiral where both people continue to rise together. Respect even changes the way love is expressed. It moves beyond surface-level gestures and becomes intentional. Words are chosen carefully, actions reflect genuine care, and commitment is shown consistently. This kind of love does not fade when excitement fades, because it is built on something stronger. It is built on honor, and honor does not expire. It grows with time. One of the most powerful transformations that respect brings is peace. Many relationships are filled with constant noise, arguments, tension, insecurity. But when respect is at the center, peace becomes the atmosphere. This peace does not mean the absence of conflict. It means that even during conflict, there is calm. Both know that dignity will not be destroyed. Both know that the bond is more important than ego, that peace is priceless. And it is why relationships rooted in respect feel so different. Respect also inspires loyalty. When people feel valued, they naturally want to protect the bond. Betrayal becomes less likely because the relationship is too important to risk. Respect makes people choose commitment, not because they are forced to, but because they want to. Loyalty built on respect is not a duty. It is a desire, and desire is what keeps love alive. Most importantly, respect transforms relationships because it brings out the best in both people. It encourages kindness, patience, forgiveness, and understanding. It softens harshness and eliminates cruelty. It builds bridges instead of walls. When two people respect each other deeply, they become better versions of themselves, not just for their own sake, but for the sake of the bond they share. That is the power of respect. It does not only shape how others see you, it reshapes the entire dynamic of connection. It creates relationships where trust runs deep, love grows strong, and peace becomes the norm. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. And once you experience a relationship built on respect, you will never settle for anything less. Living a life of respect is not about isolated moments or temporary behavior. It is a way of being. It is a decision made daily to walk with dignity, to stand with strength, and to treat both yourself and others with honor. When respect becomes a lifestyle, it transforms not only your relationships, but also the way the world responds to you. The first step in living a life of respect is self-respect. If you do not value yourself, no one else will. People mirror the energy you project. When you carry yourself with dignity, when you refuse to compromise your worth, the world begins to treat you differently. Every choice you make, how you speak, how you act, how you allow others to treat you, either builds or destroys that self-respect. Respect yourself first, and you set the tone for how others must respond. Living with respect also means living with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are lines that protect your peace, your energy, and your values. When you say yes to everything, you lose yourself. But when you learn the strength of saying no, you show the world that your life is guided by clarity. Boundaries teach others that you know your worth, and people respect those who stand firm in their limits. Another essential part of a respectful life is consistency. Respect is not built through one great act, but through repeated actions that show reliability. Consistency tells others that your words mean something, that your promises hold weight, and that your character does not shift with the wind. When people see consistency, they feel safe around you. Safety creates trust, and trust solidifies respect. Living a life of respect also requires courage. It is not easy to stand firm in a world that constantly tries to pull you in different directions. It takes courage to stand by your values when others challenge them. It takes courage to walk away from situations that insult your dignity. Courage is what separates those who demand respect from those who quietly receive it. Because true courage does not beg, it commands. Respect is also built on humility. Many confuse respect with arrogance, but they are not the same. Arrogance pushes people away, but humility draws people closer. Humility does not mean weakness. It means strength under control. It means knowing your worth without needing to shout it. It means standing tall without stepping on others. The balance of strength and humility is one of the most powerful ways to inspire respect that lasts. Living respectfully also means valuing time, your own and that of others. Time is life's most precious resource. When you respect time, you show discipline, focus, and purpose. You avoid wasting energy on things that do not matter, and you honor the commitments you make. People respect those who are intentional with time because it signals that you understand its value. Respecting time also means respecting life itself, and that attitude draws admiration. Gratitude is another cornerstone of a respectful life. People who practice gratitude naturally carry an aura that attracts admiration. Gratitude keeps you grounded, reminding you of the good in your life and the effort of those around you. A grateful person does not take others for granted, and this attitude builds lasting respect. Gratitude softens the heart, sharpens the mind, and strengthens bonds. Another way to live a life of respect is through discipline. Discipline shows mastery over self. It shows that you do not simply react to life. You guide your path with intention. Whether it is how you care for your health, how you manage your words, or how you pursue your goals, discipline is the mark of strength. People admire discipline because it reveals self-control, and self-control is deeply respected in every culture, in every time. Living with respect also means choosing authenticity. Pretending to be someone else may gain temporary approval, but it never gains true respect. Authenticity is magnetic because it is rare. When you are real, when you speak with honesty, when you live in alignment with your truth, people cannot help but admire you. Authenticity cuts through the noise of pretense, and it creates a presence that demands respect without ever asking for it.